Hey everyone, back with another game review. This time around I'm going to be reviewing sequel to the last game I reviewed, Sly 3 Honor Among Thieves. This game was released in 2005 by Sucker Punch Productions, same company that made the other two, and since it was released a year later, the story takes place a year later. Now, instead of, well, if you remember at the end of Sly 2, Bentley got paralyzed by Clockla's jaw, and, you know, but him and Sly are still thieves together, obviously, but you learn that Murray actually left the gang because he blamed Sly for, or he blamed himself for what happened to Bentley. And now Sly wants to break into the Cooper Vault, which is on Cane Island, which was started originally by the first known thieving Cooper, Sly didn't come in the second. And it's a place where the Coopers, ever since him, throughout the generations, stored their thieving, stole everything they sold, or stored everything they sold, or stored everything they stole, basically. And now he wants to break into it to claim his fortunes and maybe add to it and whatnot. However, there's a bit of a problem. A ruthless mandrill scientist by the name of Dr. M has already set up shop there trying to break into it. However, the actual key, which is really the only thing to break into it, is the Cooper cane. He set himself up a fortress with security as tight as Fort Knox. So now it's up to Sly and the gang to basically break into his fortress and break into his fortress. I cannot fucking talk today. And claim Sly's treasure for himself. But he can't just yet because he can't break into there by himself. Even with Bentley's help, it won't be possible. So now he needs to recruit a larger gang to stop him. First thing he needs to do is get Murray back on the team and whatnot, and yeah. So, this game... Hold on a sec. Alright, now this game is my least favorite in the series so far, but it's still a very fucking excellent and fun game. Now the game starts out, actually, well, with Sly Bentley and the new gang breaking into Cane Island already, and Murray's obviously there because of his voice and the way he talks, but he's still silhouetted out, and all the other gang members are silhouetted out too, so you don't know who they are exactly. All you know is their voices. And they help Sly get up to the Cooper Vault. However, he eventually gets captured on his way back to the ship by Dr. M. And then the game actually goes into a flashback where you get to see how they got the new gang members. And the final episode comes back to the present where the game climaxes, basically. Now, in the first episode, which is in Venice, Italy, you have to get Murray back into the team by defeating Octavio, or Octavio, I guess. That's the correct way to pronounce his name. Growing up, this guy used to be a real celebrity in the neighborhood. Everyone used to love him sing opera and said he was destined to be the next great tenor. However, as soon as his career started to take off, musical taste changed. Suddenly, it was all about rock music, and no one wanted to listen to opera anymore. And however, he held on to a few fans, which were these mobsters that took him into the business. So, yeah. basically his plan. By the way, with all my reviews, there are loads of spoilers here. So if you don't want everything to be spoiled for you, avert now. Anyways, his plan is to flood the canals and ponds of Venice with tar so he can sink the buildings during his opera recital, which he's going to, I guess, force people to go watch. Oh, this is odd. I didn't realize I still had the Thieves raccoonist that came with Sly 3. I know I don't still have the one that came with the first two games, so I didn't realize I still had the one that came with Sly 3. It's definitely seen better days, but still. Huh, interesting. Oh well, whatever. Doesn't matter anyways. Anyways, back on topic here. And Murray is held up in Venice, Italy, because after leaving the gang, he went to the Aboriginal guru who taught him in the ways of the mystical art. So now he's basically a non-violent pessimist, which that's not the Murray we know, right? We have to bring him back to his senses. So that's basically what episode 1's about. Then episode 2 is about is in the Aboriginal or Australian outback, and it's about getting the guru onto the team. However, which will be the mystic of the team. When you play as him, you can change your shape to blend into your surroundings and also control guards' minds if they haven't seen you, which is really cool. But before he'll join, you have to get rid of the miners that have been that are digging and drilling into his homeland, as well as the Mask of Dark Earth, which they basically dug up. And the Mask of Dark Earth is basically the enemy of the episode, and it allows you, when it binds to someone's face, it will actually make them grow tall, actually control them. It makes them grow tall, than it makes them grow fucking huge. And the final boss is basically Carmelita with her mask, with the Mask of Dark Earth on, essentially. Then episode 3 is where you have to get another new member into the gang, the RC Specialist Penelope. However, before she'll join, she requests that you defeat her boss, the Black Baron, at his own game, which is Aces. The Black Baron is an international Aces expert, and so, as such, he opened up his own Aces competition in Holland, which, I'd like to mention this right now. It says Holland, but Holland is just an area in the Netherlands, so I don't know why, and they say like some weird city, Holland, and it should be Holland, the Netherlands, or that weird city, I cannot for the life of me pronounce it, and then Holland, then the Netherlands, or something like that. That would be more correct. And yeah, and that's one of my favorite parts about this game is the flying. And that episode, actually, Mugshot comes back, and you have to eliminate him from the competition before the competition, which is really cool. And then in the next episode, you have to get an old enemy on the team, the Panda King. You might remember him from being the 4th boss of Sly 1. He was in the Fiendish 5. Sly, of course, doesn't like this at all, but Bentley's firm on it because he's supposed to be, and I think my camera's blurring up on me a little bit. That's better. And he's supposed to be the new demolitions expert, I guess. He deals with fireworks and whatnot. Obviously. And he's held up in the Kunlun Mountains of China. However, before he'll join, since he's not too happy with it either, obviously, then you actually have to rescue his daughter, who was Jing King, who was abducted by a powerful general from the northern mountains. She used to be the bride in a forced marriage to this unscrupulous ruler, and the Panda King was exiled. So obviously the gang agrees to it. So yeah, when you play as by the way, when you play as Penelope, you never get to play as her on foot, but you get to play as her RC car and chopper, which I believe are really fun. Most people don't like it for some reason, but I actually think it's really fun. And when you play as a Panda King, you get to do a weird... You don't get to use his Flame Fu, unfortunately, but you get to use a weird flaming hand thing, and also you get to shoot fireworks. Both of which can actually kill any guard in just one hit. So he's basically a one-hit kill thing when it comes to guards. Then the next episode, you actually get another old enemy onto the team, Dimitri from the Claw Gang of Sly 2. He's the first boss of Sly 2. However, you actually originally meet him in episode 1, and he tells Murray where Sly's at so that they can meet again after about a year. And then they meet each other in Holland or the Netherlands, whatever, and Dimitri gives Sly some useful info there in exchange for a favor. So now in episode 5, where this favor is being delivered, basically, they go to Bloodbath Bay, which is easily the most lawless town on Earth. It's home to a group of local pirates, basically, and so this is Dimitri's request. His grandfather, Remy Luceau, so now you know that Dimitri's last name is Luceau, was a pioneer in deep-sea diving. He made a fortune eluding undersea wrecks. However, his luck was cut short when a young cutthroat by the name of Black Spot Pete stole not only his loot, but his precious diving gear as well. So, a broken man, Remy retired from treasure hunting and eventually started a family. Dimitri, growing up in his grandfather's stories, dreamed of one day recovering the gear, so that was their task. They were called out to get their hands on this diving equipment and loot. And, yeah. And the enemy of this level is a pirate by the name of Lefouille, of whom I tend to come up with a creative, insulting nickname every single time I mention him, like, what's one I haven't used yet? Lafwabiwanger, there's one. I don't think I've used that one yet, anyways. Yeah, I even write them down too, so I know, so I don't overuse one. Alright, so, yeah. And he's nicknamed the smartest man on the 7 seas, even though he ends up getting eaten by sharks afterwards. And at the end, you get Dimitri on the team, and Dimitri's, not only that, but Bentley and Penelope actually fall in love. And Dimitri will be playable 2 times in the game, in the entire game, and he's basically the diver of the gang. Then episode 6 goes back to the present and basically climaxes the game, like I said earlier. Now, this game, like I said earlier, is my least favorite in the series, but I still think that it's really fun. I played this game like a month after it came out, actually. So, yeah, really, I played it not too long after it came out, and it still sticks with me today. Some of the things that stick with me the most is the additions of the new members and how fun it is to play as them, all of them. The pirate battles in episode 5, the biplane duels in episode 3, the canal chases in episode 1. And yeah, just so much stuff was added into this game. Not to mention the one biplane thing in episode 6 as well. Just so much gameplay was added into this game. The graphics are different from the previous as well. It seemed like they went for a more cel-shaded look of graphics in this game rather than the graphics in Sly 2, but I still personally prefer the graphics in Sly 2 over these game graphics. Now for my complaints Oh, another thing I really like is that you actually get to play as Carmelita too. There's certain points in the game where you'll actually get to play as her. When you play as her, her main form of attacking is her shock pistol, of course, but you can also kick with her too if you would want to for some odd reason. And yeah, there's like 5 times I think or something like that you can actually play as her in the game. And now for my complaints about the team, because there's quite a few. First off, I wish I could have bought gadgets for Carmelita. Like, I know she's not in the game, but it still would have been kind of nice to buy gadgets for her. It wouldn't have made any sense, but do we really care? No. Or at least I don't. Next, all the new members of the gang are so much fun to play as, but you can never play as them unless you have to. They're never available in the safe house for play whenever you want to, and you don't even get to play as some of them very often. Dimitri, like I said earlier, only gets to play as 2 times. The episode you get him, and the final episode. Not to mention, there's no gadgets available for purchase for them on ThiefNet. And Penelope, you don't even get to play as on foot at all. Only her RC vehicles, which I love playing as them. They're really fun, I think. But I mean, you do get to do a boss fight with her. I take that back. And there's no platforming segments there. You know, you don't get to roam around with her. But there is a kind of a much linear boss fight with her against LaFouille and whatnot. But, you know, other than that, it's just, I kind of wish you got to. I really hope that Sanzara decides to change that in Sly 4 and whatnot. Anyways, another complaint I have of this game that I mentioned earlier is the graphics. I just don't like the graphics in this game. I don't know why. It's not that they're bad, and certainly better graphics don't necessarily make a better game. But it's a complaint, so I decided to mention it. Like, the graphics in this game aren't necessarily bad, because they're not. They're decent, but I just prefer the look of the graphics in Sly to the very best. And I really hope that they change it back to that in Sly 4. It kind of looks like Sanzaru's taken more of the look on the graphics being kind of like a mix between Sly 1 and 2, I think, actually. I don't know why. That's just what it looks like to me. But yeah. I mean, the graphics in this game aren't bad, but they're certainly I just prefer the ones in Sly 2 the best, personally. Another thing I should really mention about this game is that it has 2-player co-op, actually. There are a total of 4 mini games. There's Hackathon, which is basically just a two-player version of Bentley's hacking mini games. Then there's Biplane Duel. There's a pirate battle thing, and then there's Cops and Robbers, which is basically you take up playing as either Sly or Carmelita. If you're Sly, you have to steal loot and escape Carmelita. If you're Carmelita, you have to kill Sly. I think they're really fun. Most people don't like them, but I think they're really fun. And the other thing I should mention that Sucker Punch decided for some reason to put in this game is the 3D capabilities. Now, I don't believe... Now, 3D glasses, when you bought the game, came in this manual. I don't believe... no, I do not have them anymore, unfortunately. Or fortunately, because I hate them, quite honestly. It doesn't look 3D at all. I mean, obviously the game's a 3D platformer, but, like, popping out at you, nothing ever popped out at me whenever I use them. So, you know, and it's kind of pointless. I mean, it's just the gimmick, really. Just, oh, we're making a 3rd game, so make it 3D. What, since we're going to make it 4D since it's the 4th fucking game? I just never really got putting 3D with games. Like, movies, maybe, if it's done right. But games, why? Why? So yeah, it's a really dumb gimmick, quite honestly. I don't really think there's much more to say about this game, though. The voices are great as always. You know, Kevin Miller came back as Sly, Matt Olson came back as Bentley, and Chris Murphy came back as Murray. You know, all the other voices fits their characters' personalities perfectly. Other than that, yeah, and the last thing I should mention about this game is the cliffhanger at the end. For 7 years we've been wanting a Sly 4, and now it's finally going to come out this fall. But that cliffhanger at the end's why, you know? I mean, it has a terrible ending, and to me, I firmly believe that an ending of anything, anime, game, movie, TV show, anything, the ending can make or break it. For me, it almost made me hate this game. I'm not even kidding. I sucked it up and hoped that there'd be a Sly 4, and finally there is. So I can honestly give this game something higher than what I would have given it. Probably like a 3 or something. I actually give this game a 7.2 out of 10. Because it is my least favorite in the series. Don't get me wrong. But it's still a really great game, and I would recommend that if you haven't played it yet, you do play it. Alright. And also play Sly 4 when it comes out too, or Sly Cooper Thieves in Time, as they're calling it, I guess. It comes out this fall. That's just my dogs, just ignore them. Shut up out there! And anyway, so yeah, 7.3 out of 10, I believe that's what I said before, right? Because, you know, this game is, I don't believe an exact date for Sly 4 has been released just yet, but yeah. So this is my last, well, nope, actually I'm going to do a review of the collection too. I won't, PS3 HD collection, I won't give a rating of it because it's a collection, not an actual individual game. If you saw my review of Sly 2, you probably know what the score would be. But if you don't, then watch my review of Sly 2. But yeah, so 7.3 out of 10 is really awesome game. I do actually have a rant based on Sly 4 coming up, another one again soon, so which I'd like. I actually already have it recorded. I just need to post it. I have it on a different hard drive. I need to put it on my main hard drive, but yeah, awesome game. My least favorite series, awesome game. 7.3 out of 10. That's it. So that's it for this game review. Join me next time when I review another game. So remember to rate and subscribe to all the good stuff, and see you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.